Brady. Already. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. I can't wait for them to lose in the playoffs because they suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. Man, that just never gets old, especially picking on the Eagles. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay, this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. It means the world to me. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. But plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free to fire away. Hold on. Little timeout on the field here. Hold on. I got to move the chair for my buddy Randy here. Hold on. All right. He was taking a nap over there. As soon as I start talking, he gets up and wants to come over here. So I got to start petting him now. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live, if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. And then finally, also, a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. Top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one just below it, it's, to me, I'm an old-time fart. It's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 3 trillion years from now, it'll be Twitter. I'm an old-time fart. I hate change. It's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, brother. I'm not calling it that. It's Twitter. You follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's a promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in there every day, the Twitter account. Then the link just above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron Facebook group. We have over 7,500 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I have internet access, I put stuff in there darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in there, but members post stuff in there as well. So between me and the members, there's a boatload of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with Mike, I'll tell you what, boy, it's gonna start dying down somewhere along the line. But boy, I'll tell you, it's between obviously the season just ending, the coaches come and go, but it's not so much, it's not just the Giant. It's everything, shock waves, right? Wicks finally gone. We'll go over that in just a minute. But, obviously McGahee's gone. Your running back coach is gone. The outside linebackers coach, But, Penei Sewell, what's going on, brother? Oh, what's going on? But, it's like everything, The Giants are, being blocked by the Chargers. We'll go over that in just in a minute or two, a couple minutes, whatever. But now you got maybe the Titans are just apparently asking to interview Kafka. I don't know. I guess maybe they haven't seen the Giants' offenses pay. I don't know. But I don't know. You're gonna get. I don't know. I guess they just need a change. I don't know. I don't know what some of these the owners are thinking and this stuff and everything. Titans didn't make the playoffs last season. They just missed out. But if you look, right, I wasn't subscribed to him this season. I was subscribed to him last season. It's called mangameslost.com. What a great information. Really, really great information. I didn't spend, it wasn't much, $50, $60, whatever, $70, whatever it was. For the season, it's well worth it if you're into that kind of stats and all. But I mean, you can start spending a ton of money if you start going to all these different places and all that. But I wasn't involved with Man Games Lost this season, but I was last season. But I'm just Titans related, okay. But a lot of it also was because of the Giants. I think the Giants were the sixth most injured team. They lost the sixth most man games lost due to injuries last season, the Giants. I'm not sure what it was this season. I'm sure it wasn't very good, but last season. But the Titans, if they look right, I mean, if they're looking at Vrabel, it's like, we didn't make the playoffs last season. We didn't make the playoffs this season. You suck. You're out of here. Okay, well, the Titans last season by far were the most injured team in football, and the reason why they lost. The reason why they didn't win their division, right, was because the Jacksonville Jaguars were by far the least injured team in football. I think, if I remember correctly, the Jaguars were the only team in double digits with man games lost. Everybody else had triple digits. Everybody else was 100 games. And I think the Jaguars had like 60 or 70 man games lost. They had like nobody injured. I mean, nothing. Even the water boy, nobody was injured. Nothing. That's why you win football games, right? You go through 17 games, basically nobody's injured. For the most part, you're going to win some football games, right? I mean, yeah, it helps to have Trevor Lawrence and a good coach. Coach Peterson's, the dude won a Super Bowl. You're a good coach, right? But with the Titans, I think they were the only, if I remember, now once again, my memory stinks. I'm getting old, as you can tell. But I think they were over 300, I think, man games lost due to injury. I mean, by far, they were number one. So, shocker. Take the Dallas Cowboys, just annihilate their team, okay? And go ahead and win it. It's not happening. Annihilate any team, right? Not happening. This season, I think they went through like 4 quarterbacks, something like that. It's like, how many games do you expect to win with like 3 or 4 different quarterbacks? And so they let it, I mean, okay. All right. Tell you what, Vrabel ain't going to be long before that guy finds a job. Now, the thing is, head coaching job or maybe, defensive coordinator job. It's kind of tough to go backwards, but hey, sometimes you do that. A lot of coaches, they get fired or whatever. Maybe they step back, they go back into what they've done before with the defensive coordinator and all that. You do that for a year or so, you get some more success, and then people start calling you again or whatever. But he won't be for very long at all. But I'm saying it's everything. This team lets so-and-so go, and then they call your guy, and they say Kafka might want to go to the Titans, and so it's just crazy time. So hopefully in a week or so it'll start calming down when the Giants start getting their guys. But you want to start getting start jumping on this as quick as humanly possible, because not only are you looking for guys, but other teams are looking for guys. And let's be for real. Offensive coordinator. The offensive line coach. Not that every team's looking for an offensive line coach, but my God, how long are we looking for? And if we can get the right one, holy cow! Oh, right. But we're looking for a defensive coordinator, running back coach. I think we've had like a new one like every year for the past 3 or 4 years. That's nothing really new. Strength and conditioning coach, that's huge. That's huge. But I'm sure there's a bunch of them out there. But then obviously special teams coach as well too. But we do got, we have one or two guys on the roster, who are under McGahee, who could maybe fill that role as well too. So if we can't find anybody right off the bat, we can certainly go that right. Keep it in house, right? But it looks like finally now I don't know. It's just the terms or whatever haven't come out, but it looks like the Giants and Wink, they officially mutually parted ways here. It's what from Big Blue View. Wink Martindale and the New York Giants standoff is reportedly over. As per ESPN's Jordan Renan, the Giants and Martindale have mutually parted ways. Per Renan, Martindale will be free to become a defensive coordinator elsewhere next season without restrictions. The Giants will keep the $3 million Martindale would have been paid under his final year of his contract. Well, it was if the Giants fired him, he'd get his $3 million. So he'd get his cake and eat it too. He's double dipping, right? He's keeping his $3 million for next season, and the next season possibly get a defensive coordinator position, right? And make even more money. But if he resigned, okay, the Giants don't have to pay him nothing. But apparently what it says here, you want to leave? Okay, you go. We're not paying you because you're not here, right? And then he's free to, go find work elsewhere. The problem is that somewhere along the line, we got a little campfire going on here. Okay. We got a campfire going, right? Got a couple, some Girl Scouts, whatever, around there roasting some marshmallows. Got a small campfire going, a little bit of smoke, right? A little campfire. So 2 years ago, right? Wink Martindale and the Ravens, right, decided to mutually part ways. Okay. So now it comes here for the Giants. So after 2 seasons, Martindale and the Giants mutually decide to part ways. So the fire is getting a little bigger. There's a little smoke going on there. So somewhere along the line, I guess maybe this is 2 strikes, right? 1 strike, 2 strikes. Somewhere along the line, he's going to strike out. Because you just can't keep going from spot to spot to spot, and he was with the Titans for 2 seasons, and they parted ways. And then he went to the Bengals for 2 seasons, and he's parted. But somewhere along the line, he's going to strike out. All right, so now he has a lot of respect around the league. He's very good at what he does. I was happy he was here. I was also happy Patrick Graham was here too. I was bummed out when Patrick Graham left, but apparently that seemed with Patrick Graham, that kind of seemed like that he was here, wanted to be here. This was a destination. He wanted to be here. It seemed like for all the rest of his life. And then the racial thing kind of came out about the Maras, and then all of a sudden Patrick Graham changed his mind and wanted to go out to. And I guess now the Raiders is his destination job, whatever. But I was happy when Patrick Graham was here, right? He left. Then I was happy when Wink Martindale was here. He left. I mean, Patrick Graham had some nice things, we had some nice, but we weren't the 85 Bears. We weren't the 2000, Ravens. We weren't the 86 Giants. It was nice. Same thing with Wink. Wink, we, had some nice games, right? We had, we also gave up 640 yards of offense to the Cowboys, which is, I can't remember. It's 2-1. It's the most the Giants ever gave up, or was the second most the Giants ever gave up, and it was the most that the Cowboys ever got, or the second most the Cowboys ever got, something like that. It's just. How hard it is to get 640 yards of offense. Yeah, so that's what we gave up. We also had some good games too. Don't get me wrong, but life's going to go on. Whoops, life's going to go on. So whoever we got coming in here next, I'll be happy. If we get Leslie Frazier, I'll be freaking over the moon, right? You got the connection there, right? With Shane, Dable, Leslie Frazier. Maybe we can get him in here. Well, I'll have to wait and see. But Martindale's got to be a little, he's got to be, he's got to be careful. You start burning too many bridges. After a year or two, you start mutually parting ways with too many teams. It's going to be like, yeah, no, we don't want you, buddy. If we bring you here, we'd like to have you here. And it's not only something like he's here for a couple of years, he does a good job, and then he goes on. It's like he comes here, and then there's maybe some type of friction. I could see, because Dable's they saying I can alpha male, or he ain't taking no BS or nothing like that. Well, it's the same thing in Baltimore. Harbaugh's not taking no BS. So if they start butting heads, we got a problem. And, it's either Harbaugh, either the head coach goes or the defensive coordinator goes. So it's usually the defensive coordinator, right? Same thing here with Dable. He ain't taking no BS. So if he starts butting heads, but, so maybe if Wink goes to a tamer, calmer coach, somebody who can handle some BS or something like that, maybe he might thrive there. Who knows? But, head coaches, if you're going to sink or swim, it's a tough position, so you don't want too much BS going on. So, Martindale's got to be a little careful, especially also because I think he's like 60 years old. I mean, he's not going to be coaching for another 35 years. He only has so many more shots. He only has so many more, years left to coach and all of that, especially if he wants to become a head coach. So he's got to be a little careful here. But at least they did mutually part ways. This ends the saga of the continuous relationship between Martindale and Brian Dable. Jay Glazer of Fox Sports reported around midseason that the relationship between the two was in a bad place. Now, there's always one thing. Always, it's like always. I'm not in the know and all. I mean, is there like a rat in the Giants organization or something like, oh my God, we got a problem here. Let me call Jay Glazer. Oh my God, Jay. Oh my God, yeah, you'll never know what's going on. Oh my God, let me tell you. I mean, who knows? Just calling Jay Glazer. I mean, or these are Adam Schefter. Yeah, my sources tell me that who knows? It's calling these guys. I mean, I don't know. I guess we must have. I guess they must be. I don't know, rats or people that talk in every organization. Oh my God, let me call Adam Schefter up. Let me tell them what's going on in here. It's none of their freaking business. But whoever the rat was, talk to Jay Glazer. Whoever the rat was spot on. I mean, because there was some big time friction going on there. Apparently, it seemed like it happened like right around the time that the Giants got blown out to the Cowboys. I mean, that was. I mean, yeah, my God, 640 yards. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Dable perhaps engaged in some gamemanship with Martindale on Monday morning. He said that he was asked. Dable was asked. He said, if Kafka and Martindale are going to be coming back, and he said, my expectations are that Martindale and offensive coordinator Mike Kafka would return for the coaching staff in the 2024 season. And said at the same time, Dable admitted that he had not discussed the matter with the two coordinators. Later that day, Dable fired Martindale's protege, Wilkins, and his brother, Kevin, Dean and Kevin Wilkins. Now you also gotta look too. I mean, it's like, they were the outside linebackers coach. The problem is that, Martindale brought them right from Baltimore, right? So he was like they're kind of like, I guess, buddy and all that and everything. But I mean, if you look at it, I mean, it's like, did we get outstanding play from our outside linebackers this season? I mean, how many sacks did it? I mean, when I could actually go through a whole season, and say that Jihad Ward had more sacks than Azeez Ojulari, that's not good. That's not good, right? I mean, take over, besides Kayvon Sacks, kudos to you, brother. I mean, did he like take over games and stuff like that? And all, I mean, he did some nice stuff his rookie season. He did some nice stuff this season, but I mean, overall, the outside, the edge right. I mean, stellar play from our outside. No. I mean, did we have a constant pressure from our outside line? No. I mean, there were some games there where like Kayvon was he even on the field? Now I know I get it and all of that. They ask him to drop in coverage and do certain things. I get it, right? But I mean, there's some games it's like, was Kayvon on the, Kayvon, did he have any tackles today? Or, I mean, so yeah, I really think we can do better in the outside linebacker coaches, so I ain't bummed out about that at all. And we'll find somebody, I mean, Bill Belichick was there in the 80s, right? He left after the 90 season. Life went on, right? Steve Spagnuolo was here, right? He left. Perry Fuel was here. He led us to a Super Bowl, in 2011, right? So we've had some good coaches come and go. It is what it is. We'll find somebody to replace Wink. And we'll move on from there. And hey, who knows? A guy might even be better than Wink. Now, I saw an article or something. It was in one of the Facebook groups. I think when Martindale last season with the Ravens, I think I can't remember. It was the overall defense or something. The Ravens' overall defense was ranked like 27th in the league. Now, to be fair to Wink, the last season that he was there, his secondary was decimated by injuries. I mean, they gave up a lot of long pass plays and stuff. They were really decimated by injuries. So to be fair there, but I mean, it's the same thing here. I mean, we had a couple good games we had some good games on defense, but we also had some bad games on defense as well too. So it wasn't like we were super spectacular, right? So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if Martindale don't want to be here, you can't have two guys butting heads, right? But Dable's also got to be careful too, okay? Because if Shane's in command, right? I mean, you can't have guys coming in here and next season, Dable butts head was with Jerome Henderson, and Henderson's gone. And then the next season, he butts head with our tight ends, and he's gone. So Dable's got to be careful here too. Now, I understand it's his team. This, that, and all that. But, he's got to be careful too. I mean, Shane can't keep bringing coaches in and Dable's butting heads with everybody. And I mean, there's different ways of coaching, and butting heads with everybody or whatever, sometimes, it's not always the best way to go about it. So, Martindale's got to be careful, but Dable's got to be careful as well too. But at least this saga's over with. The Giants don't have to pay Martindale any money, and Wink is gone. So if you don't want to be here, we'll see you later, buddy. Don't let the door hit you in the butt. The Giants will thrive and survive, brother, with or without you. So thank you for your time there. Now we got next the Giants' opponents. Now, obviously, this was out a few days ago and all that, but I just seen an article here. Of course, now, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now the good thing about next season, okay, is that we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, right. So we started 17 games last season, right? So, and the nice thing about last season, right, in 2022 was we had 9 home games, 8 away games. And one of those away games was London, right? Is that where we played the Packers? But that was a home game for the Packers. Okay. All right. Okay, you can have the home game, and you know what I mean? That's like having a home game against the Jets. I mean, whoopie-do, right? But it was an away game for the Packers too. So it was an away game for ball, and we wound up winning it. So really, to me, last season, right, we had 9 home games and like 7 away games. Well, this season, it switches. This year we had 8 home games, 9 on the road. So next season, 2024, we got 9 at home, 8 on the road. All right. So let's look here. I can find it. I got 17,000 tabs open. All right. So shocking. We play the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Commanders. I know that's a shocker. But at home, we got the Saints. Very winnable game. Especially, especially if we got coming back. Right, some of the players coming back, they get a little of that 24-6 loss on their mind, right? A little bit nice little blowout. We got embarrassed. We scored 2 field goals again. You know what I mean? Right? So we got the Saints coming at home, right? And then we have the Bucks. Okay, we got the Vikings. Okay, and we got the Colts. Right. So we got then of course we got the we got the Ravens and we got the Bengals. So interestingly enough, though, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, I forgot what it is, 19-1 or 21 or whatever it is against the NFC. Of course, his only loss is to the Giants, right? In Jersey, 2021, right? Right. So, and then we got to play the Bengals. So we have two, as long as you're healthy, right? Because, Lamar runs around a lot. It don't take, I'm not saying it don't take much to injure him, but, the more he runs around, especially if it's toward the end of the season or something like that, and he's getting banged up and stuff like that, like Jalen Hurts sometimes toward the end of the season. He runs around, gets beat up and stuff like that. Sometimes he's nicked up toward the end of the season, like he was the last game of 2021. I think he had a shoulder injury, right? When we had 13-string players in there, and we almost came out with the W, right? But, we're going over against Burrow and Jackson, two really good quarterbacks. Now, the thing, how's your health? Burrow, that's a crapshoot whether he's going to make it through a season or not. Poor guy keeps getting injured all the time. But Lamar is going to be, he's going to be a force. But, I mean, those other 4 games, right? What did I say? The Buccaneers, right? The Vikings, the Colts. What the hell was the other one? The Saints, right? Those 4, very winnable. And once it is what it is. It's sometimes it's not who you play; it's when you play them. Injuries and all this stuff and everything. But as of right now, I'm not saying we're going to win the games. 4 very winnable games out. But then, of course, we got the Bengals and the Ravens. But would you rather play the Ravens in Baltimore, or would you rather play them at home? I think I'd rather play them at home. Would you rather play the Bengals in Cincinnati, or would you rather play them at home? I'd rather play them at home. And to be honest with you, straight up honest with you, out of those 4 teams, right? The Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Ravens. Who's got the Watson with the Browns. I fear Burrow, right? And his wide receivers and Jackson the most. So those 2 guys, the Ravens and the Bengals, I'd rather play them at home. Let's play the Steelers and the Browns on the road. Okay. I don't know if the Browns are still going to have Flacco or not, but they're going to have a great defense. But I would rather play the Steelers, because the Steelers we're not talking the 2014 Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger and all like that. We're talking the Steelers with Lord knows who the quarterback's going to be, right? So I would rather play the Steelers and the Browns on the road. So I think we not saying we're going to win any of those games, but out of those 4, the Ravens and the Bengals, I'd rather play at home, and that's what's happening. So to me, that's good there. Then what else we got? And shocking, we're playing the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Commanders on the road too. I don't know how that worked out, but then also, we're playing. This once again, we're playing the NFC South. I mean, right? Are there any perennial? Yeah, that's a word. Are there any perennial? There you go. I think that's a word. Super Bowl contenders. I mean, come on, right? So we're playing the Falcons and the Panthers on the road. Once again, not saying we're winning those, but winnable games, right? Very winnable games. Okay. And then we got to play the Seahawks. Okay. In Seattle, the home of the 12th man. So obviously, that's going to be challenging and all that stuff and everything. But it's not bad. That's not bad. The AFC, the teams in the AFC are going to be, that's a difficult division. But as I said, out of those 4, I'd rather play the Ravens and the Bengals at home and the Steelers and the Browns on the road. That's what's happening. But so it's not, you don't look at it and it's not like, oh my God, look at this, look at the schedule we got. I think it's a little bit better than it is this year, without question. And as I said, and we actually have 9 home games, so that's good. Now let's just hope that the wagons at the who are making up the NFL schedule don't have the Giants for 13 Monday night games. What did we play, like 7 games in 4 days or something, like the beginning of the season, like the Cowboys, the Cardinals, and the 49ers? Was it like 3 games in 10 days, whatever the hell that was, or something? I mean, whatever that was. I mean, so let's hope we don't do something like that. Hopefully it's more spaced out, right? You know, the Giants weren't too good this season, so maybe put one Monday night game. We got to have a Thursday night game, and maybe a Sunday night game. Usually we play the Cowboys. Usually the way it is, if you look back over whatever, past 10, 15, whatever it's been, the Giants and the Cowboys usually are on a Monday night or a Sunday night game. So we'll probably play the Cowboys either home or away on a Sunday night game. It is what it is. But, you know, I mean, can we keep the prime time games down to a, you know, right, to a minimum? That would be great. But I'll tell you what, the schedule, you know, once again, you got to play the games and all that stuff and everything. But, you know, you got to like the schedule. All right, then it said, then we got the Tennessee Titans request a coaching interview with Mike Kafka per report. Wow. Titans have requested an interview with New York Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. As I said, I don't know, you know, who, what, where, when, why. I mean, it's like you had Mike Vrabel, you know, who took you to, you know, they were like the number 1 seed. I mean, of course, they didn't go to the Super Bowl. But I think he was there for 6 seasons, which is like 75 lifetimes sometimes in you know, a coaching career. And you know, I mean, 6 straight seasons with one team is pretty damn impressive. But I mean, if you take away the injuries that his team had the past 2 seasons, I mean, he still probably would have had a very good team. But it is what it is. Sometimes they just want to change things up. I mean, it's like, what have you done for me lately? You know, I know you had 4. I think they won the division 4 straight years. You went to the playoffs 4 straight years. I think they were the number 1 seed one of the year. I know you did that, but these past 2 seasons, come on, man. You suck. Hey, get out of here. I'm gonna get rid of you, Mike Vrabel. I'm gonna bring Mike Kafka in. Okay. All right. If that's what you want. Well, in interview, he's not the only one there. Tom Pelissero. I mean, obviously the Titans aren't just bringing in Mike Kafka, but Tom Pelissero. The Titans requested an interview with Mike Kafka for their head coaching job. Per source, Kafka was widely considered a rising star in the coaching ranks after the Giants' surprising playoff appearance a year ago, having gotten head coaching interviews with 4 different franchises in the last hiring cycle. Giants fielded one of the worst offenses in the NFL in 2023, finishing 30th in points scored, 29th in yards gained. It was pretty widely accepted among fans that Kafka wouldn't be receiving any interview requests after such a performance. However, it would seem that the Giants offensive coordinator still respected an offensive mind around the NFL for what he has been able to accomplish with a flawed and injury-plagued unit. The Giants did manage to win 3 games with undrafted free agent Tommy DeVito, nearly upset the Los Angeles Rams, and beat the Philadelphia Eagles with Tyrod Taylor. I mean, yeah. I mean, if we had a kicker who can make a kick, we would have beat the Rams, right? If Tyrod Taylor didn't blow the play at the end of the first half, we could have kicked the field goal against the Bills. Then at the end of the game, instead of needing a touchdown, we could have kicked the field goal and maybe beat the Bills. Of course, if the see no penalty referee saw the penalty against Waller in the end zone at the end of the game, you know, we would have had 1st and goal, right, against the Bills, score a touchdown, maybe we win that game. If we didn't have a kicker that was injured, Graham Gano makes that 35-yard field goal, whatever, against the Jets. I mean, that's like almost like 3 games, right? Could you imagine? Could you really imagine? Like, you know, I mean, right? I mean, you know, this and like 2 field goals away, and we could have been 9-8. Can you imagine that? As bad as we were, a 37-string quarter, Tommy Chicken Cutlet Parmesan, hold the vodka sauce on the side, DeVito, right? And they're at quarterback, and all the injuries, the offensive line. We gave up 342,000 sacks this season, and somehow we were like 3 plays away from being 9-8, maybe make the playoffs. Can you can imagine that. Holy cow. And the same thing, like the Eagle game when we played him in Philadelphia. Wan'Dale Robinson running down the sideline trying to get a pass. The guy doesn't turn his back. There's contact there. Robinson's falling on the ground. To see no ref. I see no penalty. Ref is there. Well, I don't see no penalty. When Tyrod throws the ball in the end zone. Now, whether Saquon was running toward the back line and whether he just like planted his feet and decided to heave himself out of bounds or whether it was actually contact there, it's debatable. But, I mean, it could have been some contact there. But, I mean, the Giants are like 3 plays away or whatever from like possibly winning 3 more games. As bad as we, tough as the schedule was, the injuries, the offensive line, the third string, all that stuff and everything. We lost our starting quarterback 2 times. We almost were 9-8, like 3 plays away. I mean, as crazy as that is. But so, and it'd be interesting to see. I mean, some people are also talking about, Kafka may be thinking about maybe going back into college. But says the Titans will be going in a new direction with the departure of Mike Vrabel and potentially Derrick Henry as well. The Titans are seemingly casting a wide net and have also requested an interview with interim head coach, Raiders interim coach Antonio Pierce as well. Kafka was a finalist for the Cardinals opening a year ago, and we can see Brian Daboll forced to completely rebuild his coaching staff in 2024 after parting ways with Wink Martindale and firing Thomas McGahee. Yeah, well, Tierney, I mean, if Kafka's gone, Tierney can come up and maybe be the offensive coordinator. Daboll might call the plays. I would be kind of surprised. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry. My buddy Randy's underneath my legs here. I got to move my legs sometimes. But I mean, especially if we draft a quarterback, expect Daboll get some hands on there and see if he starts. It'd be interesting to see if he starts calling plays like next season or whatever, because somewhere along the line, the seat starts getting a little hot under his rear end. It's going to be interesting to see if he starts calling plays or not, because once I said this last night or whatever it was, because if the Titanic hits the iceberg once again and it starts going down, he's going down. He's going to want to go down with guns a-blazing, right? He's going to be, he's not going to be sitting silently on the sideline. Okay, what's the play? Okay, oh, that's a good play. All right. Oh, it didn't work. Okay. Oh, it's the next play. Oh, that's a good play. Oh, it's an interception. Oh, okay, that's no, he's going to be hands on. So it'd be interesting to see, if he starts calling plays, especially if we draft a quarterback really high. Oh yeah. All right, and then we got once again. This is where the Chargers blocking the Giants. Chargers blocked the Giants to request an interview with special teams coach Ryan Ficken. The Giants fired Thomas McGahee earlier this week. They have begun the process of requesting interviews with candidates. One of those requests was sent to the Chargers to talk to Ryan Ficken. The Chargers, though, have blocked Ficken from interviewing with the Giants. Mike Garafolo of NFL Media reports. Despite firing head coach Brandon Staley, the Chargers obviously hope to keep Ficken. Ficken has spent 2 seasons with the Chargers after 15 seasons with the Vikings, serving as Minnesota's special teams coordinator in 2021 after assisting the unit for the previous 8 seasons. So, this stuff like that happens still. All you can do is just, pick up the phone and, right, see if you can, some teams will grant them to you, other teams won't. So, I mean, there's plenty of other special teams guys out there. I said the Giants have somebody, an assistant special teams coach that they can elevate if they want. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's just kind of funny, the cat and mouse games that go on, But see, the thing is, it's kind of like a lateral move, right? If you got a special teams, right, coach, and you're picking the phone up, and it's like, yeah, can we talk to so-and-so? Yeah, can we have an interview with him? Yeah, sure. Our special teams coach? Yeah, sure. Yeah. What job title are you going to give? Oh, a special teams coach. That's a lateral move, you mean? Is that, so some would say, yeah. especially with their head coach, or if they don't have a head coach or nothing like that, instead of keeping the guy in flux or nothing like that, it's like, yeah, you talk to him, go ahead, But some would say yeah, some would say no, and they said no. So, but that just goes to show you maybe what they think they have in him as far as a coach, but stuff like that goes on. All right, and then finally, sort of this here too is like, let's going over the Giants, the rookie class, grading the Giants. Now, to be fair, a lot of times, especially what Shane says, it's kind of, it makes a lot of sense. It's hard to really judge, grade, give a good solid grade on, the class. Usually, like what Shane was says, like after 3 seasons, then you can look and see what you got. Because sometimes guys come in, they need a year or two to get up to speed or whatever. Some guys like Gio, I mean, hello, it's kind of tough to grade a guy if he doesn't play at all. So you could give him a grade, but what are you going to give him, a D for Javarius Owens? I mean, if he's not on the field. So it's hard to give guys a grade, then you can get guys, somebody like Evan Neal. We're not grading Evan Neal here because he was last year, but I mean, like Evan Neal, right? You can certainly give the guy a D without question, but then it's kind of like, it's like, well, the guy's been injured all the time. It's kind of tough to grade the guy who's always, so it's, But so usually, like what Shane would say is like, give your class like 3 years, and then you can look back and see what they are. Because after 3 years, I mean, if the guy still stinks, or if he's not finding the field or nothing like that, give the guy a D or an F or whatever, So you got to give him a little bit of time. So, but they got here. This is from what Big Blue View. This is Deontay Banks, the first round pick. Banks played 840 defensive snaps for the Giants, recording 56 tackles, 2 interceptions, 6 passes defense, and a solid 57.6 reception rate. So you got to give the guy a lot of credit there. Also, let's not forget, he missed some time being injured, right? He did, however, commit 8 penalties, which was 13th highest among all cornerbacks. He missed the final 2 games of the season. So I mean, he had 840 defensive snaps. If he didn't miss the final 2 games, said that he would have at least 950 snaps, right? If not more. So, but he committed 8 penalties. I mean, he'll probably get better as time goes by. I mean, he was always kind of like he's always that kind of touchy-feely, grabby kind of guy and all of that. So let's see what his, what's his penalties are next season, right? You get familiar with the, with the end of the speed and all of that and everything like that. He'll get more experience, more knowledge, and he'll know how to react and do certain things out there. So let's see if next season his penalties come down. 8. I mean, that's a nice amount, but let's see what he does next season as far as the penalties. Now they graded him. What do they grade him here? They gave him a B+. That's a very fair grade. That's a fair grade. I mean, he wasn't like a Deion Sanders or something like that, where the dude's an A, or A, you know what I mean? But B+, and I'll tell you what, I'm very happy we got the guy. Right, as I said, he may not be the greatest cornerback in all of football and all like that, but is that something? He's a young dude, right? He's got the football mindset, right? I think it was Jordan Renan asked him when he first came in after he got drafted. I think maybe it was his initial press conference. I think it was Jordan Renan asked him, says, so you're coming into the city here. Like, what are you looking to do? Is there like events you want to go? Is there a restaurant you want to see? You want to go visit the Empire State Building? Statue of Liberty. What do you want to see? And he just he man a few words, right? He just leans up. He goes into the microphone. He's like, "I'm here to play football." Man, I love that, man. Absolutely love that. I'm here to play football. Love you, brother. Freaking love you. But I mean, is he somebody you can build? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So you're starting to get, your core group of guys. He's a Shane and Dable guy. So as long as they're here, I don't see any reason why, as long as he stays healthy and all that, I don't see why he won't be here for the long haul. obviously, I'm sure Adoree Jackson's probably played his last game for the Giants. So, we're going to need somebody to take his spot. Is that person on the roster? Don't know. Is that somebody we can get in the draft? Yeah, I think so. We got, I think, 5 of the top 105 picks, 4 of the top 70, and 3 of the top 50 or whatever. So we got some picks. The problem is we got some guys leaving too. So, you can only fill some. We got a nice little nice shopping list. Right? Shane's got he's got to spend $300 in groceries, and he only has about $150 in his pocket. So after free agency and after the draft, we're still gonna have some holes on the roster. So whether we fill that other cornerback spot this season, and or we see who's on the roster and give something like Trey Hawkins, give him another shot, see what he can do. Maybe put Deonte Banks on their number 1 wide receiver, keep Flott in the slot, and see what Trey Hawkins, see if he gets any better. I'll have to wait and see. But as I said, is Banks somebody you can work with, absolutely, going forward and build a defense around? Yep, absolutely. So that's a good pick. Real good pick for the Giants there. All right, and then we got Michael Schmitz. Now, let's see what we got here. The Giants have added several young offensive linemen over the last few drafts, yet development hasn't progressed as many hoped. Now, this is where huge, bringing in an offensive line coach who can develop young players is going to be freaking huge. Absolutely huge. And John Michael Schmitz had a nice season, right? He's got to get stronger at the point, because sometimes he get overrun by some of those bigger guys. So he's definitely got to get stronger. But I think the more he plays, the more experience he gets and all that thing, he'll be a decent center. But he definitely has to get stronger. But if we can get somebody in here who can really help develop this guy, that would be freaking huge. The 2nd-round pick, John Michael Schmitz, flashed his upside, but was inconsistent overall. He allowed 5 sacks and 30 pressures in his 484 offensive snaps. He surrendered the 5th most sacks and pressures at the position. So, he surrendered the 5th most sacks and pressures, and he only played so many games. So, Shane said, John Michael Schmitz is going to be a good center, Shane said. The intangibles are off the charts. Yes, they are. He's got leadership potential. I'd be surprised if he's not a captain down the road. Yeah, that's true. It says, overall, Schmitz was adequate along an imperfect offensive line. There's room for growth, but the foundation is solid. Yes, it is. But it also helps too, right? Nothing but, keeping, the same. It's so easy to say, but so hard to do with injuries, right? But you want the same 5 guys. I mean, because when it's every game, he's got a different guard next to him, and then the next game he's got a different guard to him over here, and then maybe these 2 guards are the same, but then Evan Neal's injured, and he's got so there's no continuity going on there, so it makes it very, very difficult. But I think as time goes by, he'll continually he'll get better. I mean, he's a good center, but it's just nice that we drafted a center, right? It's that, we got a 13th string tight end. He snapped the ball in high school 3 times. We're going to give him a try at center, see what he does. He looked pretty good. He looked pretty good snapping the ball. So we're going to make him our starter. No, come on, draft a mother center. Come on. So we got ourselves a center. As I said, is he going to be an all-pro Hall of Famer? Probably not. But is he somebody who can be a decent center going forward? Absolutely. I think he is. And as I said, especially if he works on his strength and we can get somebody who can help develop him, I think we'll be all right with him going forward. So all in all, I think it was a good pick. Good pick. Jalin Hyatt, right? Hyatt, do not necessarily define my excitement for his future. He caught 23 of 40 targets for 373 scoreless yards on 557 offensive snaps. 109 of those yards were against the Patriots in Week 12. He caught 57.5% of his passes, which is not outstanding, with 4 drops and an average of 16.2 yards per catch on the season. Although the statistics are modest, Highland's ability to stretch the field adds a dynamic element that was so desperately missed in previous seasons. Yep. The combination of Hyatt and fellow wide receiver Darius Slayton give the Giants 2 speed options to maximize their two-man route concepts off of play action. So I mean, he's got, he certainly has some more upside to him. I mean, obviously the speed is off the chart. Now, is he ever going to be like a number one or something like that? I don't know. That's hard to say. I think the Giants would really benefit, or he might benefit more from having a dog in here. You know what I mean? Just, somebody like, I mean, like the Eagles, they got DeVonta Smith and Brown. You got ABCD Lamb with the Cowboys. Somebody, like an Odell Beckham Jr. Remember 2014, 15, whatever. Odell's over there. That's where all eyes are. Odell's over there. That's what, right? And, I think Hyatt would benefit more from somebody like that, right? Instead of him just being the main target, right? It does make it kind of time, I said, because if you got Slayton on one side and Hyatt on the other, you got 2 really good, fast wide receivers, but neither one's a dog, right? I think Slayton would benefit more if over here there was a dog. Hyatt would benefit if there was a dog, you know what I mean? But I mean, as far as a good, solid pick, yeah, I think it's a good, solid pick, And I think if he works on his craft, he was talking to Patty Trainer. He wants to get a little bit heavier. Wants to add on a few pounds of muscle in the offseason. So hopefully he'll do that. They'll make him a little bit stronger, a little more stronger point of attack and everything. Hopefully it doesn't hurt his speed too much, because that's his biggest asset. That's his biggest weapon is his speed. So you don't want to add on too much weight. But he did have some drop passes. And, catching 57% of his passes is kind of difficult because, we don't have the greatest, offense going this past season. Second string quarterback in there, third string quarterback in there throwing passes to him. So, one thing that made like Daniel Jones and Slayton really good, or Daniel Jones and Sterling Shepard kind of a good combination at times, was, familiarity. They played a long time with one another. You got Hyatt coming in here. He's catching passes from Daniel Jones, right, for a few games. Then Daniel Jones gets injured. Tyrod Taylor comes in. He's trying to catch passes from Tyrod Taylor for a game or two. Daniel Jones comes back for a game or two. That's throwing pass. Then he gets injured. Then we got Tyrod Taylor throwing passes to him. Then he goes. Then we got Danny Chicken Cutlets coming in there for about 3 games throwing passes to him. Then he goes out. Then we got Tyrod Taylor. So I think as time goes by, if we can ever settle in on a quarterback, and him and Hyatt, right, start working things out, right? I mean, I think that's going to make Jalen Hyatt even better. But they graded Jalen Hyatt a C+. Sometimes it's not. It's not real fair. I mean, because you're trying to grade the guy and give him a C+. I mean, especially with the offensive line, it's like, did we really have much of a chance really to see exactly what he can do? Because a lot of times some of his pass patterns might be kind of long. Well, if our quarterback takes 2 steps and we got the whole defensive front 4 on top of him, kind of tough to throw the ball long. All right. But they graded him. It was a Big Blue View. They graded him a C+. Eric Gray. All right. Gray appeared in 13 games and spent weeks 8 through 11 on injury reserve with a calf injury. He was mostly a special teamer in 88 snaps under Thomas McGahee. Now, let's hope that the Eric Gray punt return experiment is no mas. Let's put that to rest. Let's hopefully we have Gunnar Olszewski back next season. Let us pray, right? He really calmed things down. The punt returning smoothed it out, right? But Eric Gray, he was an adventure back there. Gray had 4 kickoff returns, averaged 14.5 yards on a kickoff return, and 7 punt returns with 2 muffs. You know how bad that is? You returned 7 punts and you had 2 muffs too. This may be unfair, but Gray did not seem like the desirable initial choice to be the punt returner. He hadn't returned punts since 2021, where he returned 2, and he muffed both of them. So He only had 9 total punt returns in college. Well, hopefully he doesn't have any more punt returns in the pros. Gray rarely saw the offense with Saquon Barkley in the roster. Gray had 17 carries for 48 yards, 2.8 yards per carry with 1 fumble. So, that's not spectacular. They graded him a D+. Then they got Trey Hawkins. Now, I'll tell you what, Trey Hawkins, he was the talk of camp. Man, there was a couple, in training camp, there was a couple of times they had like the camera on Trey Hawkins. There was a wide receiver, and Trey Hawkins was like right in that guy's hip pocket. I'm like, damn, this guy is good. But it was, it was going up against the Giants wide receivers. It was training camp and all that. It's like, man, you might have found a diamond in the rough here. Now, it's still, it's just one season and all of that. But when they actually put him on the field with live bolts and all that, things were a little bit different, right? He didn't shine quite as well as he did in training camp, right? Said no hype train was louder during Giants training camp than Trey Hawkins the third. He made such an impactful and an early impression for the Giants. Used Adoree Jackson as the slot defender because they had to find a spot on the field for Trey Hawkins. Right. Unfortunately, it did not yield positive results. Hawkins had several missed tackles against the 49ers in week 3. Or I think the Giants had a lot of missed tackles against the 49ers in week 3, if I remember correctly, which led to 0 defensive snaps against Seattle in week 4. Against Miami in week 5, Hawkins ran on the field for Jackson, and Tua found Tyreek Hill for a 69-yard touchdown. Right? Hawkins stuck to special teams for most of the season after the Miami game, other than the 2 Washington games, the second Dallas game, and the final week of the season when Banks was out with injury. He surrendered a touchdown against Dallas and Philadelphia. So he allowed an 80.8% catch rate for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns with 2 passes defense and 26 tackles. He also committed 4 penalties. Says Hawkins struggled his rookie season, which is to be explained, for his 6th-round pick. They graded him a D+. That's hard to argue with that there. Jordan Riley. The massive nose tackle played 135 defensive snaps for the Giants in his rookie season. He flashed down the stretch of the season, which was detailed by yours truly in this article. Riley had 7 tackles and 4 stops during the season, with some quality reps against Jason Kelce in week 16. Giants defensive line coach Andre Patterson extracted massive potential out of Dexter Lawrence and Riley flashed, but Coach Patterson admitted Riley still has a lot of work to work on. The Giants entered the offseason with less depth behind Lawrence. That's right. They got to get somebody in the defensive front. Big time. They really could use somebody else in the defensive front and another edge rusher. So, see, something the Giants fans welcome along with the 47th pick in the draft. So, so they traded Leonard Williams and they got the 47th pick in the draft. So might they get rid of Leonard Williams and with that 47th pick, grab another defensive tackle? Possibly. That wouldn't be bad. The Giants in the past, and if you go over their past history, you go back to like whatever it is, like 2000, I think it is. From 2000 on, the Giants have done some mighty nice things with drafting defensive talent. I'd have to go back over the list, but if you go back to like 2000, Cornelius Griffin, we took him out of Alabama. Second, I think we took Ron Dane in the first round. I think Cornelius Griffin, the second round out of Alabama. Good pick. Of course, with the Giants had him for, I think, 4 years. And, of course, then we wound up letting him go to the Redskins because they were the Redskins back then. But if you go back to 2000, the Giants have done some very nice picks in the second round with defensive tackles. The problem is that, Dalvin Tomlinson. Love me some Dalvin Tomlinson. I'll tell you what, that one year we had Dalvin, we had the Sexy Dexy, and we had Leo the Lion. Nice threesome right there. But, what the Giants wind up doing is they draft these defensive, like Hankins, right? We draft these defensive tackles early, right? We use them for 4 seasons. It's like, you want to get paid? Nah. We'll see you later, buddy. We'll draft your replacement in the draft coming up. So we draft these guys, right? We get some in the second round, get some good use out of them. These guys are pretty good, but you know what? They're going to want to get paid. So, yeah, we'll see you later. Okay. So, but the Giants in the second round, if you go back like 20, 25 years, we drafted some nice defensive tackles in the second round. And I'll tell you what, if we get Sexy Dexy and another good defensive tackle, Dalvin Tomlinson, second round pick, I believe it was, right? So, get two, right? That would be huge, especially helping the run game. You got two good defensive tackles, right? And then behind him, you got a Karake. That'll help. It's going to help big time. Big time. I said, we really, on the offensive line and the defensive line, we really need to bolster that. Now, could we possibly, if they're going to go stalk wild crazy and draft the quarterback in that first round, well, we got 2 second-round picks. We can certainly draft a good offensive lineman, especially if we get a good offensive line coach in here who can develop the person, right? Because you don't need 5 first-rounders on the offensive line. You don't need that, right? So we can draft somebody in the second round, like a guard or a tackle or something like that, right? And get a good offensive line coach in here who can develop and get the best out of them, right? We can draft maybe a defensive tackle, and we can draft a guard or a tackle on the offensive line. And that could be huge. Really, really could be huge. But we got to get the right guy in here. So they gave Jordan Riley here a B-. That's a good fair grade. That's a good fair grade. I mean, he certainly was not super spectacular. Without question. But, he did okay. But if he works on his craft, as the Godfather Patterson said, he can certainly get a little bit better. Will he ever be a Sexy Dexy? Probably not, right? Not many people on the face of this earth can be a Sexy Dexy. But, with his size and strength and all of that, if he works on his craft, he can certainly get better. And the nice thing is that, he still has a lot of tread left on the tires. It's not like we put him out there for 1,300 snaps this season or something like that, right? So he wasn't used that much. So his body's, hasn't been beaten up this season. So let's hope he works on himself. Then we got Gio, or has anybody seen Gio? Jabrill failed to find a defensive football field during his rookie season. He played in 37 special team snaps with 1 assisted tackle. He did have success during the preseason. So did Trey Hawkins. Owens recorded 9 pressures, 5 stops, 3 pressures. Recorded 9 pressures, 5 stops, 3 pressures, and 2 passes defense. I'm not sure exactly what the hell that means. In this article here, Owens recorded 9 pressures, 5 stops, 3 pressures, and 2 passes defense. So I'm not exactly sure what the hell that means. He had little impact in 2023 and will be learning a new defense in 2024. So here they have not applicable for his grade. And then we have Tommy Chicken Cutlets Parmesan, right? The undrafted free agent. DeVito took the football world by storm with his talent cliche and with a 3-game winning streak. He was the only Giants undrafted free agent to see the football field on offense or defense. Cool. Let's see. The passing, Paisano threw for 1,100 yards, 114 completions, 6.2 yards per attempt, 64% completion percentage, 8 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. Now, he was very good at protecting the ball, but the problem is that he was very good at protecting the ball, which is, as I said this before. You could put me behind center, and I will go a whole game, and I won't throw an interception. Hey, boom. Hey, boom. Hey, boom. Or shovel pass, right? Again, Wandell Robinson coming by. Hey, oh, there you go. Oh, or shovel passes. Right? So, so the problem is, after game's over with, it's like you look at his stats. Oh, he didn't have any interceptions though. Because he's not. He's not taking chances. He's not. He's not trying to gun it in there or fit something in a tight window. So, which is obviously has its good points to it, right? Because you don't want to throw an interception, obviously, and give the other team a short field or have them pick a pass off on a backward touchdown. But sometimes you got to take chances, and it didn't seem like he was willing to do that, right? So, but do we know he can play in the NFL? Yeah, do we know he can come off the bench and move the team, score some points? Yeah, absolutely. Can it be a number 1 quarterback? Probably not. But like I said, it'd be amazing to see what he can do, right? If you gave him an offensive line that can, block and give him a little bit of time back there, give him maybe some wide receivers that can get some separation and stuff like that, right? Maybe he can do some better things. But I think in development, as I said, is he ever going to be a number 1? Who knows? But Is he somebody the Giants want to have, and maybe keep development? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, the dude won 3 games for us. He won half the games that we won, right? We played 17 games. We won 6. He won 3 of them. Okay, so not too bad. So all in all, I think I was a little more excited when we actually drafted the class. Because when you saw with Jalen Hyatt, the 5 touchdowns he had against Alabama, it's like, dude, this guy's going to have like 17 touchdown receptions. And then the season goes by. It's like, yeah, he didn't have that many touchdown receptions. You know what I mean? So I was a lot more excited at the time, especially, about Banks. I was pretty happy. But then we got Michael Schmitz in the second round. I was like, yeah. And then we moved out. It's always exciting. When you're watching the draft, you're watching, okay, the Rams are on the board. Okay, all right, what are the Giants? The Giants are picking. All right. I could probably go to the bathroom and make myself a sandwich and come back, and I'll still be ready for the Giants. And then, maybe you're getting up and it's like, there's been a trade. And you're like, the Giants are traded with the Rams. You're like, whoa, And then of course, then it's like Jalen Hyatt. It's like, yeah, baby. And of course, they keep showing the highlights over and over of the 300 touchdown receptions he had against Alabama in that one game. You're like, yeah, we're going Super Bowl, baby. We got you. I was excited about Eric Gray, except that, wasn't that super spectacular of a rookie season for him. He's got some work to do. Then Trey Hawkins, Javarius Owens, and Jordan Riley. I didn't know anything about those guys, right? Jordan Riley flashed in the preseason. Trey Hawkins flashed in the preseason, right? But a lot of it didn't pan out to the regular season, right? So it is what it is. But let's hope that, as I said, in the draft coming out, I think we got 5 of the top 105, 4 of the top 70, I think it is, and like 3 of the top 45 or something like that. So, we hopefully can do some damage. Let's hope that we, get some good guys here, because if we get 3 or 4 good picks in there, that'll really help us. I said, because Shane's got a nice grocery list, but it's like he's got about $300 worth of groceries, and as I said, he only has about $150 in his pocket, because we got holes now. We need depth, and we got guys leaving, so you can't fill all that in one season, especially because we don't have a lot of salary cap money. 2025, we're going to have some salary cap money, right? But this season coming up, we don't. We said we might be able to maybe get a little splash. We might be able to bring one guy in, one nice size guy, maybe a guard, $15-20 million, maybe $15 million guy or something like that. But we, don't expect too much in the free agents. As I said, if we're going to bring, I don't know if we're going to bring Saquon back and McKinney. I don't know if we'll be able to bring them both back. We'll have to wait and see, but still a lot more stuff left to go. All right, guys. Well, damn, it's been 1 hour and 7 minutes, man. I'm just shooting my mouth off. So, Benny G, man, good talking to you, brother. Thank you, pal. So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.